Andy, Paul O'Connell said that you find out about yourselves whenever you play South Africa. So what did you find out about yourselves?
A lot that we've got resilience, we've got guts, character. If that's what that is as well, and we wanted the test. We wanted the different type of test match that was a proper old-fashioned slinging match. That to see where we're at in that regard, and wow, I thought the character of the side was immense for all sorts of reasons. I mean, you start with coming into camp and a lot of them being undone as far as minutes is concerned. Never mind it being our first game of the season, it's some of the lads' first game of the season, and some of them have not played for 3 or 4 weeks, and etc. But they come into camp every single time, and they get to work, and they certainly fill me with confidence every single time that they come in. And you'd think that Hugo and Jemison have been playing for the last 5 or 6 weeks, and that's because the culture, the attitude, the want to get better within the side is infectious day in, day out. So I thought we showed fantastic spirit. Having said that, South Africa are a hell of a side, and it was a hell of a test match, and could have gone either way. So the character that we showed was fitting for the 12 days that we've had together, and with the injuries that we had, 1 or 2 before the match, and the Ireland Air game yesterday, it was a different week, a different 10 days for us. Something that we adapted to, and unbelievably proud of them, of how they've applied themselves. In the first half, we give them a few opportunities to kick to the corner regarding our discipline, but I think the confidence that we got, certainly as a forward pack, with our maul defence, stood to us for the game, and our set piece was unbelievable. And on the back of that, coming out of the set piece, our defence was immense. So the backs complemented the forwards on the back of that as well. So it was a proper test match. Either way, if the result had been different for us, I'd have still felt the same way.
Johnny, you've enjoyed some special occasions here in Dublin, where there's beaten the reigning world champions.
Yeah, obviously right up there. We spoke about it being a massive test for us before the game, so you can't say different after it. Obviously, we probably didn't play our best rugby, but that's also a very pleasing thing, because it shows that we maybe back in a couple of years ago we maybe would have crumbled or not shown the guts that we did there. So yeah, it was very pleasing from lots of things, like for guys coming in, like Faz said about coming in for the first game of the season. Some lads have barely played, but they trained really well during the week. It was a bit of a mad all week with almost 50 players knocking about. So it was unique, but they're the tests that we've been putting ourselves. Well, he's been putting us under in New Zealand, and now this week, obviously a big game next week as well, and then finish off with Australia. So a good start.
We spoke about earlier in the week, the World Cup is still obviously ages away, but it must give you, it'll always be in the back of your head that you've done this here tonight, surely a bit of a boost.
Yeah, I suppose the fact that they were fully stacked, obviously missing probably Pollard, who'd be their main 10, who makes a difference to them. But we've seen what they can throw at us, and we dealt with it well. We didn't at other times. So we'll learn a lot for the World Cup, and I'm sure they'll learn as well, because they stopped us well at times. I thought we were a pass away from getting a bit of space on the edges a couple of times, and yeah, we'll have to have a look at that.
You had with the personal nature of. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to ask you had received lengthy treatment, and then seemed to wince when you kicked for the corner. Were you close to coming off at that point, or?
Yeah, I just got a dead leg, so it's just a bit of fluid in it now, and we'll see. Just hopefully can get it drained and we're good to go then after.
There's no question of you coming off that one.
No, it's just a knock.
With the attritional nature of a game like that, and you know, an injury toll can be high, does a win like that prove that you have a squad to win the World Cup next year?
Oh, but we're not going to get into that. We're miles off it. You know, there's so many things that can, different permutations that can happen along the way, and you know, I've no doubt that South Africa are going to get better leading into the World Cup. They're pretty good at that, at getting their timing right, and it's a good start to our season. As you know, I think that's about it, and it's nice to play them. It's certainly nice to play them after 5 years to see how we're handling the different types of pressure that they throw at us. So that's great, and it's a start to our season, and we move on to next week.
And just Johnny, I'm sure a win like that, you know, wins bring confidence, bring momentum. That's a huge start to this year.
Yeah, it's a good start to the year. That's it really. You know, it's we've got to keep building now, keep our performances improving, and you know, we won a Triple Crown last year, but you know, we want to do something in the Six Nations. It's not. We talk about the World Cup, but it's a good bit away. Like we need to stay present and try and keep winning. You know, it's, you don't get many chances in an Irish jersey, and you want to win when you're in one. So we need to keep building. Hopefully, get some bodies back over the next couple of weeks, and you know, 2 massive more games.
Did you talk about Jimmy O'Brien and how he coped, and you wouldn't have anticipated playing an outside centre, and he did pretty well?
Yeah, his versatility is pretty unique. Like he's played, I think he's played 10 for Leinster as well. He's a fantastic footballer. We thought he wasn't phased, but he told us he was shitting it after the game,
which was news to me because I was praised at his calmness. But anyway,
so it was. Look, he came on and just like ducked the water. He was straight into it. He knew what was going on. He knew everything. He just did his role really, really well, and fair play to him. Like to come into most people get their first cap and in a smaller game or thing. He gets it against the world champions, and what a amazing performance by him. And it was good for Conor because I thought he was really good for how long he played, 30 minutes, and good at that. He had to come off with an injury on his 100th cap. It's cruel, but he can be unbelievably proud of the milestone as well.
Johnny, like from the stands, it looked unbelievably brutal out there in terms of physicality. Is that the highest it goes in Test rugby, or have you been in the place of that?
It always is against them, yeah. They test you in ways that not many other teams do. Like England, France, I think are the closest, but I think South Africa, they're pretty big men across the park, pretty powerful, fast. So we stood up to them well at times. The boys just kept fronting up. The pack were outstanding, and the centres, some of their D was amazing. And look, we gritted it out, and that's a very pleasing thing to say after playing South Africa.
You said you didn't maybe play your best rugby. Where do you think you could be even better?
Well, just some of the execution they rush, they pressure you when you got the ball, and about staying calm and getting the ball into the space, and a couple of passes didn't go to hand, things like that, where we can be better. And but I think we stressed them, and not many teams do against them because, like I said, they're very tough to play against.
Andy, you got 2 tries, but outside of that, there weren't too many clear-cut opportunities. How pleased were you that with those 2 big opportunities, you made both of them count?
Yeah, we took our opportunities well, but we'll review that back. There's no doubt on Monday, and we'll be disappointed that we didn't create a few more. But that's the nature of a hell of a test match, isn't it? There's a brutal battle. That's just so much pressure coming from both sides, but we need to be better in that space, and we'll learn from that.
We can ask them just with Finlay Bealham as well. Obviously, it was huge
It was
for him. 40 minutes, like there was a lot of pressure on him with Tide coming off at half time and wins a scrum penalty inside the first couple of minutes and just went from there.
Yeah, well, Tig was awesome. The time he was on, Andrew Porter was like immense, like, you know. Dan Sheehan as well, like. But Finlay coming on, he's growing in confidence every single time he takes the field at international level. I thought his scrum was excellent. He was dynamic, nice and low, and never looked like budging. So we're delighted for him. He's growing in confidence week by week.
And what was the story with Tig and Stuart McCluskey? Can you give us a...
Stu was a funny one. He fell awkwardly on the floor, and his arm twisted in a way, and they thought something serious had happened, but it doesn't look as serious at this moment in time. There's a bit of feeling that's coming back into his arm and hand, so we'll see how that progresses. We don't quite know. And
Tig and Connor?
Tig Byrne?
Tig
Furlong. Just jarred his ankle. It doesn't seem to be too serious. And Connor, he felt his groin when he made that break.
How did you think Stuart played before he did get injured?
I think he was doing really well. Like, I think he was being himself. He was strong. He was getting us over the game line. He was calm because his character is that way as well. He was having a great game up till that point.
And Johnny, just for you as captain, when you see these type of players going off injured, like Conor Murray, Stuart McCluskey, Tig Furlong, big names, but the bench is coming on and they're slotting right in there.
That's what you want, yeah. And going to into Six Nations World Cup, you need 35. The way the game is, it's attritional. It's you're going to need 30, 40 players to be at really competing, and you can't have any weaknesses in your squad. And we're building that. And the guys that came in today did a great job. Like you said, it's seamless, and that's what you want. And that comes from good prep during the week, making sure guys are on top of their detail and they're ready to go. And some of them have to cover multiple positions. Like Jimmy could have come on anywhere today, and he had to be nailed on in all of them. So credit to them.
This might be a hard question, but where does this current Ireland team rank in the teams you've played on? Like, just looking at the bench coming on, like, it just looks that there's so much strength and depth, and obviously you have the 18 too that are looking to compete for places.
We're building well, but we have to win. You have to win trophies. We had a Triple Crown, obviously very pleasing last year, but if you're talking about championships, Six Nations, Grand Slams, World Cups, we've done nothing really. So you can't compare it to teams that have won before. That's the key to being a good team is winning trophies, and we haven't done it yet, but we're building hopefully towards that.